And you will find it in the Bible. And the Bible says, give alcohol to those who perish, that they will remember their misery no more. It is not my words, they are to be located in the Bible.
Yes.
So when people say it takes away my pain, does it really take the pain away? It is a momentarily taking away of the pain. It subdues the pain, it doesn't take away the pain. When you have stress, for instance, in marriage, which could be one of the causes, and you take alcohol to subdue it, it doesn't take the problem away. You had a problem with your wife. You decided to take alcohol. Does it take away the problem away? No, it subdues it and then re-emerges. Immediately the alcohol goes down. And this is the problem. You will always need to take more and more alcohol to subdue it without analyzing or solving the problem themselves. Even there are songs that make people glorify beer. There is one that is sung by a popular media personality that in heaven there is no beer. That is why we must drink our beer here. Because when you go to heaven, there is no beer. And he sings it very well with a very nice voice. In heaven there is no beer. That's why we are drinking here. And when you will be going there, there will be no. So many people hype it and it becomes something very interesting.
Welcome to Unfold, where we see with a different eye and of course visualize with a colorful mind. My name is Hilda Lumati, and today we are going to address alcoholism because I believe so many people are struggling with alcoholism and so many people are in bondage, and most of the time they lack the knowledge. But Dr. Ngure is here today to help us delve into that. Karibuni sana.
My name is Dr. Ngure, the founder of Milestone Sociologist Consultancy Firm and a researcher based in the University Institute of Lisbon. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Dr. Ngure,
yes.
Today we are going to talk about alcoholism. And when you look at our society today, so many people are struggling with that. And like I just said, most of them are even in bondage. And I have seen people try to get out of that, and sometimes it's difficult. There are people who have even gone to rehabilitation centers for help. And most of the time we think it's the good lifestyle. But today you're here to help us, unpack that. But before we start, maybe you can just explain to us what is alcoholism and who is an alcoholic? How far is too far, and is it even right in the first place?
I think where we can begin is to contextually define alcoholism. And once we contextually define it, then we can be able to understand what it is. So alcoholism can be defined from three different angles. It's number one, a biomedical problem. Number two, it is a social problem, and as well as it is an economic problem. So alcoholism is a product, or is a behavior, kind of. But there's a difference between alcoholism and an alcoholic. But then, in short, alcoholism is a process whereby somebody takes alcohol to the point that they can no longer function without alcohol.
Okay.
Yes. So you said like it is quote unquote within the general sphere of many people understand it as the good life. But when the good life takes over what is good life, then alcoholism sets in. What is good life? Where you can be able to do your normal day-to-day life. If you are a doctor, you wake up, you're able to plan your day, you're able to see your patients, you're able to do your normal day-to-day life. But once the good life of 1, 2 becomes many bottles, then alcoholism has clocked in. And when it clocks in, it's when it becomes a social problem. Because probably you'll get into social issues like violence and stuff. It becomes a medical problem because several health issues crop in, like liver cirrhosis and all others, all other diseases diagnosable crop in. Economic problem because then it will drain your financial resources, and beyond that, it will help you get, really help you, if I must say, get fired. It becomes one of the best agents to get fired. Yes.
But when you look at the world today,
Yes.
for example, places like clubs, you will find a lot of people there. And different people are there for different reasons. There are people who say, I find peace in just taking alcohol. It takes away my pain. And there are a lot of reasons why people are doing that. Are there any causes, and how does someone become an alcoholic?
I think the problem of alcoholism and alcohol has been with generations time immemorial.
Okay.
You will remember that it is not me and you delving into the issue at first. It has been dealt with ad nauseamly. And you will find it in the Bible. And the Bible says, give alcohol to those who perish, that they will remember their misery no more. It is not my words, they are to be located in the Bible.
Yes.
So when people say it takes away my pain, does it really take the pain away? It is a momentarily taking away of the pain. It subdues the pain, it doesn't take away the pain. When you have stress, for instance, in marriage, which could be one of the causes, and you take alcohol to subdue it, it doesn't take the problem away. You had a problem with your wife. You decided to take alcohol. Does it take away the problem away? No, it subdues it and then re-emerges. Immediately the alcohol goes down. And this is the problem. You will always need to take more and more alcohol to subdue it without analyzing or solving the problem. Yes.
Do you think that people blame it on alcohol? Because I've heard people say, I did this and this because I was drunk. I did this and this because I went out with my friends, and that is the new lifestyle. So things are happening to people, and people are doing things and blaming it on alcohol. Do you think alcohol can mess up with your mental health, your psychological health, your physical health? How does that affect you as a person?
Truth be told, alcohol can, and alcohol does so. Because you have seen a lot of advertisement, even on road users, do not take alcohol while driving. The theory behind it is because alcohol impairs your judgment. Impairs your judgment in the event that when you have a squabble or a problem with your partner or at work and you take alcohol, your judgment is impaired. So you're not able to reason or think critically and rationally. So yes, it impairs that. And many people blame it on alcohol. People take cover. The actual word is to take cover under alcoholism. Some do it consciously and some do it unconsciously. I must admit this. That some do it consciously. They know what they are doing. Even they plan it before. Yeah. You've heard people say that I have a problem with my wife, na leo naenda kumukunyia, or I'm drinking this because of my wife. Yeah. They have preconceived it. They have meditated on it. So they want to take it and then vent out later. But this is a problem because it doesn't solve the problem. It creates it even bigger. Because for instance, you had a problem with your wife, you went out drinking on a spree, and then you came home, did a lot of violence. Number two, so the problem, the net problem at this time will be that you still had the problem. A, B, C, and D are still waiting for you. But now you have gone drunk, more economic resources have been poured out. Number four, you came home, you did a lot of violence, broke 1, 2, 3 things. Problems are piling, And this is where we say people go even into depression. It's one of the problems of alcoholism.
Yeah, that's true.
And remember, the word is very self-explanatory, depression. That if you, in mathematics, you have two angles, the angle of elevation, one you go up, and the angle of depression. So if you have a financial problem and marriage problem, you are at this point. You go drink, spend more of the resources, you are moving to this point. For instance, let us take this as the plateau level, the flat level. This is the normalcy of life. You have problem 1, 2, 3. But you start taking more alcohol, you go get drunk, come and have violence, domestic violence. You're depressing down. You're moving down into rock bottoms of life. You're moving into deeper problems. So at the end of it, you find yourself jobless, with health problems, with you have divorces, you have murder cases, rape cases, and all the social evils that get joined with alcoholism or excessive drinking per se. Because now it has taken over your life. It is now the drive and key for your life. And many people call it to remove lock. kutoa lock early in the morning.
Nimeenda kutoa lock.
We must understand what is this lock. It's what you are calling maybe bondage.
Yeah.
They feel locked inside. And when they take alcohol, they blow out. But we must go beyond what is the lock. The lock is always there. And the theory behind it is that it is alcohol that begets the lock. And it's alcohol that removes the lock. So you always have to get alcohol and alcohol. So you're in between this cycle of events.
Yes.
And the cycle of events become your day and everyday life.
Yeah.
So you don't get out of social problems. You don't get out of your economic problems. They go deeper and deeper. You go depressing, and when at the rock bottom of depressing, problems have set in. At the rock bottom, you're jobless. You have diseases. You are a social evil. People in the society have labeled you Kalewa. They have labeled you other names. The people are reacting to you against the labels they have made. Because if the children are calling you Kalewa, Kalewa, they are reacting to you, to the images that you formed.
Yeah.
And you have to unlock yourself and lock yourself. You unlock and lock yourself every now and then. It's the theory of the padlock. You always have to have the padlock and the door. So the padlocks locks the door and the padlocks unlocks the door. So this is a great problem. And it's a vicious circle.
Yes. And there's this methali that says asiyefunzwa na mamaye hufunzwa na ulimwengu.
Kweli.
And I believe we can relate that to alcoholism. Do you think parents are failing when it comes to how they show their children the kind of life they're supposed to live? Because some people say, I became an alcoholic because I used to see my dad, or rather my mom, take it like it's just normal, because nowadays we have normalized it. In fact, it seems like if you're not having it, there's something wrong with you. Do you think parents are failing in their upbringing? And has it gotten to a point where they're doing it even in front of their children like it's nothing?
I must agree with you, theoretically and practically. Theory has it. Theory of modeling and imitation. We model after our own models and we imitate them. So, according to the modeling and the imitation theorists or school of thought, it is true that parents contribute because they are the number one guardians of the children's morals. And again, remember that the family is the first institution. It is the first school that you go. It is the first school who you are taught who you want to be. When people want to be, they want to be like their fathers, they want to be like their doctors, they want to be like every other thing that their parents does. So if your parent is normalizing taking of alcohol, then there is a way that it exposes you to that level. Because you get to be introduced and be indoctrinated into the spree of alcohol. And by the time you think it's a social event, theories say that you're in the process of it overtaking you. It becomes, you only take it over the weekend. It becomes every other weekend. It becomes every other day. You extend your weekends to Fridays. Thursdays become Fridays because they are very close. And we are always in the business of convincing each other. It's not Saturday, but it's Friday. And we even say it is not Friday now. It is Furahi Day. Ni siku ya kufurahia. And then Friday becomes very close to Thursday. And then they say, why not Wednesday? Wednesday is even very close to Thursday, and it's very far from Monday. And we can normalize, we can negotiate, and introduce Mr. Wednesday, the good day, into a day. But then we sit down and say, no, but Sunday is here. He's just close to Saturday, and we need to remove the lock. And they say, Sunday, because Monday is always very boring. We can spice up Monday, and we introduce Monday. So you get all days now are drinking days because we have normalized it and we have constructed it. And one thing that we forgot to say that alcohol is also a social problem because it is socially constructed. And what we mean by socially constructed, a socially constructed phenomena is one that whose meanings have been circulated over and over again, and we then react and behave based on these meanings. One of the theories of social construction, we want to remove lock. We are drinking with friends. So it is not alcohol, But this is drinking with friends. So why are we drinking? We are drinking with friends. It's a way for us to come together. We are the big boys, yeah? We are doing it like our parents. We are seeing them. And even the bigger role models, and we have to see parents as a wider frame, because role models are there. Media personalities are there. When you get media personalities that are really followed, musicians who grace and embrace the drink so much.
Yeah.
And that is why even advertisements are careful to say that it is prohibited for people under the age of 18. But what we need to educate ourselves and educate our people, what is the responsibilities of alcohol? If you are a parent, if you are a role model, if you beer advertising companies, should we go deeper and tell the people the evils of these things? What is the value of something called self-control? And how much should you self-control alcohol to the point that it doesn't overtake your daily activities? Are there indicators? You remember, and if you're a good driver, you will always know we are always told keep left. So the rules of alcoholism, you must keep left. What is the left of alcoholism? It is self-control. Another left of alcoholism is take care of the indicator signs, because if you want to overtake the coming vehicle, it's moving to the next stage, you put in the indicator button and it starts doing tick, tack, tick, tack. And when you're a driver, you must be cautious and know what you're doing. You must check on the side mirror to see what is coming. And even more so, be careful to look at what is ahead. So when you're in the first stage and you've put in the indicator light, you want to overtake, maybe it's from social drinking, it has now come from social drinking to normalizing drinking. And the second or third stage is where it becomes a problem. So you must be aware of the indicators of it being problematic drinking, the problematization of alcoholism. It is now beyond that friendly beer. It's now beyond one glass, and it always begins with one glass. Moja ya kwenda nyumbani. Moja becomes too many because the friend wants to buy you and all this. And these are the things that drive us into the depression. Remember, we are joining all these things, the indicator sign, the depression, and the depression is moving through stages. In every mountain where you're going down, it's step by step to the rock bottom. We must be very careful, because it is easier to decelerate, but it's very difficult to move up. Yes.
Because we have also seen alcohol claim people's lives. You will go to the hospital, and these days doctors are even telling you, stop taking alcohol. It is not good. And I love the fact that you have said there are dangers to it, because we are told not for use for under the age of 18. And sometimes when, we've had things like when you're driving, don't drink and drive. Do you feel like people are living in ignorance despite all these warnings?
I would say that there is a problem of the way we construct things and the way we joke around problems. For instance, don't drink and drive. Many will tell you that I will drink and then later drive. You see how we socially construct problems, how we make them look better. We cake and we put a lot of icing into problems, and they become accepted evils, socially accepted evils. Like, do not drink and drive, but I will drink and then later will drive. You see? And then they will say,
gari inajua
nyumbani. And then when the gari knows nyumbani, so many social evils come in. I would say that the problem is fairly and squarely, number one, on the social construction. The meanings that are circulating amongst us. What is really pushing us into this alcohol? The people will want to associate a lot of Mary with alcohol. But then, how do we control ourselves? Beyond the do not drink and drive, do we tell people why must you not drink and drive? Yes.
We live in this society.
Yes.
We are on this earth, God knows for how long. So some of the things that we are learning it from what people are doing and what is happening and what society is teaching us. Do you believe it has a role to play in alcoholism?
Society?
Yes.
Of course, we say kio, jamii ndio kio, sanaa ndio jamii, ndio kio cha jamii. Na sisi wote tunatoka katika jamii. We all are social beings, and you can imagine, we call ourselves human beings. That we are born human and then we be. That we are always introduced and reintroduced into being. We are socialized into being. So when we get socialized into the being of an alcoholic, then the society is contributing. Yes. And then fundamentally, we must help our viewer understand why is the society responsible for it. Number one, the society models and we model and imitate what is in the society.
Yes.
Because we want to be like, if I am an elder brother, or I am a lecturer somewhere, or you are a pastor, you are a parent somewhere, people want to be like you. People want to ape you. The word is aping. Or they want to model and imitate after you.
Yes.
So if you portraying those alcoholic behaviors, and with alcohol, people are always smiling, people are always very fun, enjoying themselves. Even there are songs that make people glorify beer. There is one that is sung by a popular media personality, that in heaven there is no beer. That is why we must drink our beer here. Because when you go to heaven, there is no beer. And he sings it very well with a very nice voice. In heaven there is no beer. That's why we are drinking here. And when you will be going there, there will be no. So many people hype it, and it becomes something very interesting. And as part of the society, people who are finishing Form 4, for them to feel their masculinity, for them to feel that they belong somewhere, they start taking it.
Yes.
But they start journeying. Unfortunately, you're journeying. You're beginning a journey. And probably you're at plateau level. You begin a journey. You begin the stages down rock bottom. By the time you realize you have, it has meddled with your life. It has taken over your daily function, your routine functioning. Secondly, I must say, the society, being responsible for creation of alcoholism, has a fair share of maintaining alcoholism. Why? Because of the way we have socially constructed and the way we have labeled the people. We have given them names. We have told them they are kalewa. We have told them that they are, and you can go into a spree of names that alcoholics are named after. Maybe our viewers in the comment section can say, what do they call alcoholics? And then let me help you understand why those names contribute to sustaining them there. Maslow hierarchy of needs says that everybody requires physiological needs. They require esteem, they require belonging. So once you remove belonging from them, you tell them you are kalewa, you're not like us, you're kalewa. Once we say, we ulishindwa na kazi, you're useless, we have taken away from them away from us. Once we say they are useless, huyu ni ule msichana, she's a ratchet, huyu ni kiguu na njia. We even call them hose in Swahili, and forgive me for the use of the term, we call them the M word. I will not allow myself to the latitude to mention it. We call them the M word. Once we name them all these, we have labeled them all these, they regroup into alcoholics, and they find belonging amongst themselves. They call them brothers. They call themselves brothers. They call themselves sisterhoods. They find esteem in the group. They say, okay, my family hates me because of this. My family did this. My mother does not like me because of this. They prefer my brother who doesn't drink. We have socially excluded them. And they have socially included themselves into a cocoon called alcoholics. So they find belonging there. They find their esteem there. They find their safety and security needs. And most importantly, when one gets all these, they acclimatize. They self-accomplish their life. Self-accomplishment. And this is the highest level of Maslow hierarchy of needs. So once they find self-actualization in alcoholism, they are okay. As even if you hate me, I have my brothers who will say, "Ay, Hilda, what is wrong? Kuja nikununulie kimoja." And they are always, wacha nitole lock. Very happily they will take each other to removing lock. And now the problem sustains itself. Because even when they go to rehabilitation as one of the solutions, and they are reintroduced back into the society still views you in the specs and lenses of an alcoholic. They still react to you as that way. When you're in the family, your parents do not want to give you any roles and responsibilities. This is the black sheep of the family. Once we name them the black sheep, they never get painted white again. They remain the black sheep. You said it is bondage. We bound them, but you must understand the word bondage must have something that is bonding you. So the society is one of the things that fences people into the bracket of alcoholism. So this is one of the problems. Yes, and they live in the society.
What is your view on, let's go to marriage. What is your view on a husband who consumes alcohol and a wife who consumes alcohol? Do you think that that home can work?
We must be very careful on the word alcohol and consume. Because if they are only consumers of alcohol with self-control, this is a different category. But when alcoholism sets in within that family, remember we said it takes over your social responsibilities. So let us look at that husband, husband A, who is consuming alcohol, and then wife B. What is the role of husband A? He's supposed to be the breadwinner. He's supposed to be the head of the family. He's supposed to be a role model. He's supposed to provide and ensure his kids are going to school. These are the functions. So alcoholism will take over this function. That now the reverse is that he's not providing, he's not coming home, he's not paying school fees,
he's not present.
He's not present. He's violent. Is it a problem? Will this institution called marriage work? Let us look at the roles of wife B that will be taken over by this alcohol. That she's supposed to help cook, and maybe even now our women, we must be very cautious about the word women, because being genderly well behaved. We'd say that some of our ladies are breadwinners. They are active engagers in the issues that matter of provision. Probably the lady will not go to work. She will not be well groomed. She will not cook for the kids.
She will not even be able to pray for her home.
You cannot pray, because now you are supposed to be praying, but now alcoholism has taken over. You don't pray. What do you pray for? Removing the lock. You're busy removing the lock. You're busy with your girls and your boys. So it is taking over, and that is when alcohol consumption becomes a problem. Because if it is not checked, you might be on a journey towards problems. Yes.
Are there any solutions to this? Maybe you can share that.
There are solutions. Most likely and happily there are solutions. Number one solution, we said, we must be able to be very careful of the signs and symptoms. Let us be very mindful of where we are going. I've always said this. When you want to move from Nairobi to Nakuru, there is only one way of going to Nakuru. There can not be two ways. If you in a matatu that is heading from Nairobi to Nakuru, the first place it will head to Westlands, Limuru, Naivasha, Gilgil, finally Nakuru. Nakuru, let us say, it is the point of alcoholism. And lovers of Nakuru is not. This is just symbolic use of it. Nakuru is that. Nairobi is where you are coming from. It's where you are. It's where you're saying the marriage couple A and B are in. They are social drinkers. They are in Westlands. They must be very careful that car is moving. And perhaps they may arrive at destination Nakuru. They must be very wary. They must be very wary not to overtake. Because if they overtake, they are fastening their process towards it. They must be very careful of the side mirror. They must look at the responsibilities of everyday life. They must look at what it is doing. Is it becoming problematic? Is your tidiness starting to taking over? And alcohol is related to other drugs. You find young men and women who are in alcohol, grooming becomes a problem. They are not tidy. They are not able to do their homeworks and go to school. So you must check on these signs and symptoms. This is solution number one. Avoidance of the problem is what I was explaining. You must avoid the problem. You must be aware of it. Number two, let us reflect our society. What are the labels that we have labeled them? And to society, we must break it down even more within your family. Do you have somebody who is an alcoholic? He's suffering from an alcoholism. Remember I said it's a biomedical problem, diagnosable you can go to hospital and get diagnosed. These people are sick and they require help. And once they require help and they go to hospital, that is for rehabilitation as solution number 3, we must take care of ourselves. We do not rehabilitate ourselves as a society. Once they go, let us change the specs. Let us change the views. Let us stop calling them names. Let us reintroduce them. Let us give them a second chance. Let us allow them reintegrate back into the society. But if they go to rehabilitation and then they come and the labels that we had labeled them are still there, they will get reintroduced back to alcoholism very fast. Remember, we only try to remove the addiction, but we do not remove the alcohol bottles in the bars and everything. We need to allow ourselves to balance these two things. That this person now gains control, gains the ability to know that I will not take it, and then we can say that this person is correctly now being rehabilitated and being reintroduced back into the society. It's a very important pillar of one of the solutions. Number 3 and number 4, those of us who are employed and are employees, let us be very cautious that some of these people are sick and they require help, just like any other people who pick sick leaves. Before we fire them, because firing creates another financial stress, let us think of talking to them, guiding and counseling and stuff. And most importantly to my viewers, let us be wary of the signs and symptoms. Let us not accelerate too much. Let us be very wary where social or happiness drinking, one bottle becomes alcoholism, becomes danger. There are danger signs everywhere. In every road, there are always signs. There is always signs of a bumps ahead. There is always signs of animals crossing. When, as a good driver, when you see these signs, something comes to you. You're moving closer to your brake paddles. You're reducing the speedometer. It is reducing. Let us be people who have even the reverse gear. Remember, we use the example of a car creatively, because the car has a reverse gear. It can start reversing. So my viewer, if you notice that you have been really accelerating, remember that there is a gear for drive, but there's also a gear for neutral. And behind the neutral, there is a good friend called R, reverse. Let us now, maybe we were at Naivasha in your life towards Nakuru destination, alcoholism. Start going back from Naivasha, go back to Limuru, go back to Westlands. Go back, recall yourself. Let us have a measure of control.
Now that was educative, very encouraging, powerful and mind-blowing. Now maybe there's someone who is watching and they're struggling with getting out of alcoholism. The Bible says bad company ruins good morals. There are people who have been introduced to that by their friends, their families, anyone around them, and they don't know how to get out of that. Maybe you can just encourage them, talk to them, and just remind them that it is possible. Yes.
I love the way you say it's possible, because at Milestone we say it can be done, it will be done, we only need to do our part. And in this we have just ended by saying that there is a reverse gear in every direction that you're moving. So following into our trajectory of Nairobi to Nakuru, if you realize that you're struggling with alcoholism, you know that you're struggling with it, come bold. It is a disease. It is a problem that is there. Number one is self-acceptance. You must accept the problem. You must recognize that there is a problem and come on board. There are various rehabilitation centers that are going on, and you can approach any one of them. And number 2, the society, we must help these individuals. Once they go to the rehabilitation center, let us stop stigmatizing the going off into rehabilitation center. You remember there's a lot of stigmatization with people who go to rehabilitation center. We must destigmatize that. These are institutions of help. These are institutions of corrections. These are institutions of reverse gear. Because these people have really advanced into maybe the problem. Maybe they are in Naivasha or somewhere. And these people have realized the problem. Number 1, it's very courageous to go to rehabilitation center. We must redefine them into acts of courage. And they are ready to journey back. We must allow them journey back. And once they journey back, we must allow them the space into the society. We must allow them get the esteem they need. We must allow them belonging. We must allow them access to their physiological needs. We must allow them have security needs where they will not go into any cocoon and people are pointing them, people are showing them with hands, people are calling them these funny names.
Yes.
And then once we allow this, we will allow them actualize as recovered alcoholics, and they can become even ambassadors of it. They can help others recover, and then we will be a happy society. Yes.
Thank you for coming on board and sharing knowledge.
Yes.
And maybe you can just share with the viewers, how can they find you and your services? Who is Milestone Sociologist?
Milestone Sociologist, as I had introduced myself, is a researcher, and happily enough, I have done extensive research on alcoholism.
Yes.
Some is published. If you go just to your Google Scholar, for those who love reading, you can just type my name, Ngure Francis, in Google Scholar, and you can see the published articles there. And you can see one on social meanings of alcoholism, and there's an upcoming one on the deconstruction of alcoholism. So, and how best can they find us? At Milestone Sociologist. That is for YouTube channel, and TikTok, Milestone Sociologist, and at Facebook. And most importantly, you can write to us at Milestone Sociologist 14 at gmail.com. You can always write to us and get your comments, and you can always visit us. Our offices are located at Spine Road, next to Shell. And you can always visit us there, and we can expound and we can go deeper into helping you recover. Maybe you're there in Naivasha, come partner with us. Remember, it can be done. It will be done. We only need to do our part.
Yes.
I will do my part to
Yes.
help you go towards solution. But you need to
Also do your part.
To do your part.
Yes.
Yes.
And also we are reminding them to go and subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Please. Yes.
At
subscribe.
Milestone Sociologist.
Yes.
Remember to subscribe, remember to share, to like, and to comment.
So that we can help many who are suffering,
Yes.
and they can be able to reach us. It's a number you can always reach me 24/7.
Yes.
I'll be there to answer, I'll be there to comment and help you engage the reverse gear. Asante sana.
It was nice having you. Like I always tell you, don't drop the mic.
We won't.
Keep going.
We just started.
Yes.
We are now in the acceleration phase of
Yes.
bringing our brothers on board.
Yes.
Asante sana.
Thank you.